Welcome in our second guest of the day. He is the head coach of BYU men's golf top 20 program, 15th to be exact in the last official rankings. Bruce Brockbank. Bruce, nice to have you back in Studio B.
Thank you for having me.
How would you explain your last 3 weeks as a head coach of a Division I men's golf program?
Well, there hasn't been a whole lot of activity other than, men's golf and women's golf. Any type of golf, these kids are always finding a place to practice and get better at their trade. So they're out there practicing and doing the best they can, especially looking for tournament golf, which there's not much of that. So it's just practice and wait till the next event.
Is golf the greatest pandemic sport?
I would have to say so, yes. They haven't, well, I guess we have been canceled, but not today. They're still playing somewhere.
Able to practice still, which is nice.
Wide open spaces, physical distancing.
And you can adjust certain things, like in the cup, you don't have to pull the ball out. Right. There've been the flag.
I'm going to try that today. I've played 9 holes in the, you mentioned the last 3 weeks. Maybe a little more than that. I might be fudging a little bit. But I am going to try a couple of times this week to get out and play and take in some fresh air.
Let's talk about what the NCAA ruled. So they said yesterday, okay, spring sports, of which golf is a spring sport, you can get an extra year of eligibility for essentially everyone was paused, and you can bring back the seniors. What's your reaction to this news?
That is really awesome. Unfortunately, our 2 seniors or 3 seniors are going to be moving on and playing some type of professional golf. As soon as Peter Quest, who was one of your guests last week, I think, he's going to, he's looking for places to play, and he's definitely moving on. He's ready to do that. Rhett Rasmussen will be playing on the McKenzie Tour, and I think Spencer Dunaway, another one of our seniors, is also going to be out looking for a place to take it to the next level.
Oh, man.
That's great, but also terrible. They're just too good. They're just too good to come back, right?
Well, no, you know what? We tried to sidearm them a little bit, because I'll tell you what, it'd really be fun to have this team back again and take a shot at it. But unfortunately, we got to, we discussed that. Every year you have seniors and they're going to graduate and move on. This one just happened a whole lot earlier than we were hoping.
And that's the give and the take of getting great players. I've said for a while with football and basketball, I wish there were more early entrants to professional ranks, because that means they were great. When in certain sports, if you're there all 4 years, it's like, shoot, your pro prospects aren't that great. Like, hopefully Yoli Childs gets into the NBA, but in college, if you stay 4 years, it's tough. With your guys, hey, these guys are going to be pro, and they're going to rep BYU for the rest of their lives, which is awesome. And you had an amazing season.
Yeah, and these guys, I think they're proud of their team and what they've accomplished. And, we hope to see that logo somewhere on that tour bag for a long time for, the guys that are going to sneak out there and give it a shot. And hopefully they're going to be on TV.
So with no Rhett Rasmussen, Spencer Dunaway, or Peter Quest, what type of a team are you going to bring back in the fall season and try and make a push for a championship next spring?
Well, we're gonna we have our hands full. Anytime you have guys that are shooting the kind of scores that Peter and Rhett were shooting, to fill in those numbers, it's going to be a challenge. And so we got a lot of young talent on the team. Some just coming back from missions, and they're going to have to step up. And we challenged them, 2-3 weeks ago at the end of the year. They don't quite recognize what that means, but they'll find out real quick in September when we go out and play how much more difficult it really is when you actually have that spot and you got to post a number, because it's not quite as easy as Rhett and Peter are making it right now.
How has the recent influx of missionaries impacted your program, returning early from their missions? Has it at all?
Yeah. In fact, we've got 2 kids right now that are in the mission field. One is home right now quarantining and waiting for another assignment, and we're just kind of waiting to see, because he's only been out, I think it was 6 to 8 months in Mexico. And he's, we'll leave the name out of it, but he's quarantining. I think he's got another 6, 7, 8 days and hopefully get another assignment. If not, we'll take him right now, but I don't want to get in the way of all that.
Yeah. Let's talk about something that came out at the top of the hour you informed us of, the Haskins Award watch list. There's 10 players finalists for Player of the Year in men's golf. Peter Quest is on the list.
Peter Quest is on that list, and we're really excited for Peter because it's been, I think Daniel Summerhays may have been on that list, but it's been a while since we've had one of our players, a candidate for the Haskins, because that's big time. You're talking first team All-American. You're talking about one of the best players in the country, which Peter's been on that ranking for quite some time this year, and he deserves that. He's played some exceptional golf and helped this team be successful for quite a few years now.
And BYU has a winner, a two-time winner, Bobby Clampett in the 60s. He was unbelievable. Yep. So a little history there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bruce Brockbank with us on BYU Sports Nation. We've talked about Peter's temperament and how it makes him maybe the perfect candidate to make a run on the PGA Tour. But for those that don't know Peter and maybe didn't hear his interview last week, how would you explain his temperament and why it works in the ranks of professional golf?
He just, as Coach Miller will say, our director of golf, he is so smooth down the stretch. He just seems to, he believes in representing. When you're playing golf, you respect the game, and you act like a pro whether you are or not. But see, he wants to be a pro, so he's preparing himself to do that. So you act and think that way. And that's definitely helped him down the stretch as he's trying to win collegiate events, and it'll definitely help him as a professional. Now, is he ready for that? Well, we'll find out real quick how ready he is. But he's so tough. He's tough as nails down the stretch when it comes to winning tournaments.
Well, it was a bummer to have the season cut short because you guys had won and been in the top 20, and it was just so fun to watch. You had some great golfers, and it was a fun season. And Coach, it's a Fast and the Furious. We just played a quick 9 here, but we appreciate the time, Bruce.
Great. Nice to be with you. Thank you, and thanks for, taking our kids in and putting the name out there, because not only does the men's golf team, but there were a lot of teams that for BYU cut short that had fantastic seasons. And hey, we'll bounce back as Tom. He's rallying the troops. All our administration, they're getting after it, trying to get us to, hey, we're going to get up and be better for it. And so that's what we're trying to do.
Fantastic. Give us a BYU Sports Nation karma in that effort, and we'll be contacting you about the lessons that involve 6 feet or more of physical distancing from your players so that Jarom and I can work on our games.
Perfect.
It's my max putt length, so that's great.